So we'll start with you just telling us who you are and maybe a little bit about where you're from.
Kia ora sis. Kia ora whānau. Kia ora sis. It's an honour to be here today. Blessed to connect with you. Awesome. And thank you for creating this space for us to share our stories and tell our truth.
Cool.
So, ko ripika moana rihari reihana tōku ingoa, aka Koko. I'm 32 years of age. I have 5 tamariki and I live with my partner here in Auckland. I also, I've been a full-time mum and I quit my job to be able to run my little side hustle business.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that for about 4 months now.
Oh,
and I love it.
Shit, that's a big thing to quit your job, full-time job, to start something, you reckon?
Well, I was sort of looking at the bigger picture, eh?
Yeah.
And I think it's something good for me and it works around my children at home.
Oh, I love that.
You know, being in and out of the, pack houses and housekeeping and fucking slaving for my money just to put the petrol in the car and put the kai on the table. I saw this as a great opportunity to just give myself some time to...
Bit of freedom.
Yeah, bit of freedom. Yeah, bit of freedom.
Nah, me
neither.
neither.
I'm on the tamariki and my hubby.
Oh, winning. So what made you want to, because you reached out to just even yesterday, what made you want to reach out and come onto the Let Me Speak campaign and share your journey with us?
I saw this as a great opportunity for me to not only just share my story, but to also reach out to someone that might be in a dark space where I once was, and sharing my journey, I can show them that there's a way out.
Oh, I love that. Love it. So with that being said, where does your journey with addiction begin?
Geez, I have to go back in time.
Take us back.
So first I'll give you a little bit of background of my upbringing and stuff.
Yeah.
So I was born here in Auckland. I was raised by my father in Rangitukia. Dad is an honourable member of the Black Power. He had been in there since he was 19. Mum is a survivor of domestic violence of 18 years. She now holds a degree in social work and she's a former school teacher. She now works with cancer patients, so she looks after our kuia and our kaumātua up in the Bay of Islands. And those are my parents. I'm one of 10 siblings. I'm the eldest daughter. Probably the good looking one too. So
how would you describe your childhood? Was it mean, like good, or?
So we pretty much grew up in a hakurara whare that lived across the creek. I was 7 when I went back to that whare on Maraihara Road, and it had no power, no hot water.
Wow.
So it was tough. And Dad was tough too. He disciplined us quite well, I guess I can put it that way. But we saw a lot of domestic violence growing up and stuff, and my first intake of drugs I would have been about 15, so it was dope, and I smoked dope for 18 years.
Yeah.
And then it started off with the joint, so I had a joint with my dad, then my brothers. We were still going to school then, and then I got right into dope, and then I became a bit of an alcoholic when I was 23, so just a heavy drinker when I was 23, and then meth was introduced to me by my partner in the presence of my father.
What was the smoking weed, the drinking, was that just something...
Fuck, that was normal, man.
Everyone
did it. Everyone on the road did it. The whole community did it. That was just the way of life.
Yeah.
Everyone would be down in the sharing sheds, and so it was just an automatic crate.
Like finish the day off with
joints
the fucking...
on top of joints.
Yeah.
Yeah. in saying that, Dad was a fencer at that time too when we were growing up.
So then from there, do you remember the first time that you had had meth? What did that day look like?
Oh, fuck, we can never forget the first time. So
Yeah,
when we
yeah.
when we have that first taste,
Chuff,
that first taste.
So what did that day look like? Were you already getting on the piss or?
No. Shit. I had come back from a holiday from Mum's up in Koko. I caught the bus back home. ASIS.
Do you remember the first time that you?
And at that time, there was stuff going on in the family, so there was geez, how can I put this? So I went up to Koko, I went up to Mum's. Mum wasn't actually home, she was down the coast with Dad. I was going through some shit of my own.
Yeah.
That was your first holiday.
Oh, well, yeah, my first holiday at the age of 23. So,
Oh,
so
okay.
I more or less run away from home. And then I came back to Gisborne and I went over to my brother's house on the corner of Incliff there, and Dad was there. And my brother's mate was there, who is also my partner to this day. So we've almost been 10 years.
Wow.
And as we do, we sit in the room, smoke dope, have a drink.
Yeah.
And then it started from there. So the pipe was going around, and I think Dad really thought that while I was away on holiday, I'm sure he thought that I was already using,
Oh, yeah.
but I hadn't. And so when the pipe came around, he goes, "Are you gonna have a toke call?" I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh, I was still a bit down at that time too. So yeah, I said yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't forced upon me or anything. And so Tony, he drove me up. I had my first little taste. Fucking, it was an instant rush. Explain
what that rush was.
Fuck, it gave me such a feeling. It gives you such a feeling that you wouldn't want this. This is probably the best way I could put it. So it's a good feeling, especially when I was, going through whatever I was going through at the time.
Going through
I
some
needed
shit.
something to pick me up, and dope wasn't going to do it. I didn't want to be stoned and I didn't want to get drunk. And so, yeah, that was my first time I had it.
And then how did it progress from there?
I just had that first taste, and that was it. And I remember my dad sitting in the corner laughing at me. Just, yeah, no, Dad was cracking up at me. Like, I didn't even know how to smoke it for starters. I just puffed it like a cigarette sort of thing.
And did you pretty much become addicted after that, or?
No. I would have been, how old was I then when I had my first taste? 23. So when my daughter was born, my first child, I would have been 25 then. That's when I next had another taste. So there's that like two-year gap.
And what made you want to have another taste after 2 years?
Oh, my partner was on it. He was hard out on it. He was working for it, unbeknown to me. I found out in the end, but he had a job, and as time went by, figured out he wasn't coming home with the money, and I started noticing a change in him, because at that time I had no fucking clue what meth was or what it could do to you, and then he started offering it to me, and I started smoking it, and then by the time I had my second child, I became a full-blown meth addict within that year.
How did you kind of cope with being a mother to 2 children and also being a meth addict?
I wasn't coping. I just had massive support. So I had my mum, I had my dad, I had my brothers and sisters, and they would take care of the children every time they felt that I had fucked off drinking or I wasn't home,
Yeah.
or if I wanted to go somewhere. My family was a huge support there, but in the end they got sick of it.
Yeah.
And then my partner, and he stopped working for a bit, and then he stayed home with the 2 kids. This was in Gisborne.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so and then what happened?
It became a regular habit, and then
What would life look
Just-
like if you couldn't get your hands on any?
it was around us. It was always there. That you could get it anywhere. There wasn't a time where you couldn't get it. Pretty much. Everyone was smoking it. Your neighbours, the community.
Easily accessible, eh?
Very easy. You could go up to the shop and get a bread and milk. Oh, I got a bag, or Cuz got a bag. You guys.
Fucking hell,
And that's how easy it was.
Mm.
I think Gisborne's a small community.
Yeah. And so what happened? What happened after that?
I became heavy in my drinking. And after some time, I fell pregnant with my 3rd child, Tūranga Aotearoa, and I wanted out.
How come?
Started taking over me. Started taking over my life, and I could see what it was, the damage it was doing to my family and to my babies, and especially to my partner, because he had been on it, way before I met him. And so we decided, I got a hold of my brother in Rotorua, and we decided to move to Rotorua.
Try and start clean.
We were supposed to get clean, so we were supposed to stop. But when we got there, when we first got there, the place we were around, it was also there.
So you couldn't.
Yeah, but at the same time, we were asking, any stuff around here?
Yeah.
I could be able to get us any stuff. And so, as much as we wanted to, I don't think we were ready to give it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we carried on.
In a new town.
In a new town. So it was a repeat of what happened in the last town. Except this time, it really took over us.
In what way?
So I lost my children. I lost my home.
Lost the kids to SIFs?
Not quite. So we were given a chance. So we had a meeting with SIFs and Mum, and at the end of that meeting, we had to come to a disclosure of what would happen with the children. And they decided that children went with Mum, and I didn't want that at that time. But there was nothing I could do, I had power and authority over me sitting in that meeting, so I thought, don't fucking play up now, you're going to really ruin it. So I just went with it. But deep down inside, I was breaking. There was so many things that happened that led up to the kids, where Mum had to come and intervene and take the children. So there was a lot of domestic violence. I created a mean drug bill in Rotorua. I engaged with
Do you
people.
feel like when the kids were taken, then it was just kind of like you might have went into a thing of fucking nothing to lose kind of thing and just went harder in it?
We did go harder, myself and my partner, but at the same time, in the back of my head, I was praying. I wanted to have my children back, but I knew that, at that time, I couldn't see there was anything wrong with me, to be honest.
In denial.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was nothing wrong with me. Oh, so what if I'm smoking meth? Every cunt around here's smoking meth. Everyone does it. It wasn't until like today I could look back and I think, fuck you, we went out the gate, cunt.
Oh yeah, I totally relate.
And I
totally relate to that.
You know, I burnt all my fucking bridges. You know, pretty much none of my family wanted to know me.
Yeah.
You know, I was fucking borrowing money off my mum. Like, oh fuck, this was on a weekly thing, and telling her lies.
Yeah.
You know, shoplifting, doing the trolley runs at Countdown, fucking all the trolley ride-ups. That's everything that we needed, and I would push it out.
Yeah, no, I
And
relate to that.
it took some time before it got there, so 3 years, we were in Rotorua for 3 years, and over time all this stuff happened. Yeah, so me and my partner, we were at each other's throats, you know, we were ready to kill one another.
Was there a feeling inside you, or a kind of thought that you knew what needed to be done to get the kids back, but just couldn't fucking do it?
Once they were taken?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt, and I think all my focus was on my partner.
Yeah.
Because at the meeting we had with Tamariki Ora and the family harm team was that once we got clean, the kids will come back to myself and Tony, and we will remain as a whānau.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go forward, but I knew my partner wasn't ready.
So
I was like, fuck, this isn't going to work. And whatever it was going to take to stay by his side and wait for him to, you know, make that, you know, want to get clean, I was going to fucking go down that road, eh? I was going to continue smoking, and going through all the shit we went through. You know, we were fucking bad, man. I would smash the house up.
Yeah. When you were coming down, or just while you were up there? Even?
Definitely always on the come down, sis. Never when you have had a good fucking puff.
Yeah,
man.
fuck
Fuck off.
No,
It's come
shit.
here, honey. Come
It's
here,
happy
honey.
days.
Come on. Let's have a puddle, baby.
And the
But
minute that you're coming down, what? Smashing the house up.
It's fuck you, cunt. It'd be fuck up, bitch. And that's how it will start.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? And I'd grab the nearest thing around me, you know, it might be a potato, or a fucking the kids' scooter or the kids' toys, and I'll biff it.
Yeah.
And one day I remember the potato getting stuck in the wall.
Holy
You
heck.
know, so it was, everything was full force. There was no half-hearted, you know, your brain you were already there.
When you reflect back now, because I know what you're talking about, because I've fucking been through that too. And when you reflect back now, even though just in my situation, when the kids were taken, I fucking hated that. And I was in denial, like those kids shouldn't have been fucking taken from me. But then I went through shit like what you're just talking about now. And now as I sit here today and I reflect back, I'm like fucking grateful the kids weren't around to see that shit. Do you have that same kind of feeling as well when you reflect back?
To be honest, my children were caught up in it.
They did witness it.
Yeah. But we never ever smoked meth in front of our children. We never went that far.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
they saw
we would put them in a room. At first we were always outside in the shed, and then, you know, you get a rainy day. Oh, okay, so we'll put all the kids into the room, and then we'll go into the end room. We'll put towels under the doors.
Yeah.
You know, shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't expose them to it, but they were exposed to everything that came with meth, which was the domestic violence.
What else do you think came with it that they were exposed to?
Struggle. I actually am just grateful that the children were very young, sis.
Yeah.
So young. And, you know, I hope they don't remember. But I know my big girl who's 7 and my boy who's 6, now and again, they'll say things, and I look at my partner like, fuck, did you hear that?
Yeah.
It's alright, my boy, it's alright, my girl. But we don't try and shush them up, or you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You know, we pretty much don't say anything, just I love you my baby, or I love you my son, and that's it.
So once you have, so you've been in Rotorua for 3 years. In that 3 years, were the children with your mum for that whole time?
No, they were with us.
Oh yeah.
So once that 3 years had blown over, I got the phone call from she was coming in. Sif had got a hold of her because of all the police reports of the domestic violence and shit. It was 2020 when Mum took the children.
Yeah.
And then after that, me and my partner were left on our own.
Yeah.
For I think it was 6 months for me anyway. Yeah.
And then what?
But I really actually came on here. This was to talk about the boundaries around meth support.
Yeah.
For me, even though I had that meeting with SIFs,
Yeah.
I was given a letter which pretty much was an agreement between me and my mother.
Yeah.
So in that meeting I was told that on this piece of paper I was told that I had to do 18 months to 2 years rehab.
Yeah.
And so I needed that help to be able to get in there. So when Mum had left with the children, this lady from Tamariki Ora, she turned up 3 days later just to check up on us. She sat down with me and Tony and she asked us how she could help.
Yeah.
I said, I need help to get into rehab. Can you help me do that?
Yeah.
We kept talking. She disappeared, and I fucking never heard from her ever again.
Wow.
So there was no support in place, and she promised us that support. But when I look back on it, they're just worried about the children. Once the children are out of your care, fuck you and what you do with your life. And yeah, we didn't get the support.
So there's no really help from that organisation to reconnect you or get you better so that you can be reunited with the children.
There was nothing. Fuck, I was going up and down the country, ASIS.
Yeah.
Going to... I went to my sister-in-law's because she had just graduated from Odyssey.
Yeah, yeah.
I tried to get help there. I lasted 2 months. 2 weeks. And then I was off again. I just couldn't wait, sis. I couldn't wait for the application to process or...
I don't know how that all goes down because I've never been to rehab. How does that all go down?
Fuck, I wouldn't know. I haven't been myself.
Oh!
You
didn't.
She didn't make it.
I didn't have enough evidence behind me to get me into that rehab.
Oh, fuck.
So there was really no record with Tamariki Ora.
Yeah.
And at that time when the kids went, I started doing lives.
Yeah.
Daily lives. And I did it for a whole year, every single fucking day. But those lives, they're no longer available because I took them all down and shoved them in my Google account. Fuck watching that. So when I started doing the lives, I had a whanaunga from down on the East Coast. She rang me, Hayley Hollis, and she sent this social worker over home. So there was a lot of support coming in from the lives.
Yeah.
From whānau out there. Not so much my immediate family, but from other whānau out there. Just encouraging me and supporting me.
Yeah, me.
And so when this social worker came over home, she referred me to Te Aroa something, and there you do counselling.
Yeah.
So that was the process of going into trying to get into rehab, was you had to do so many months of counselling. And so I went and done the counselling. It really did fuck all for me.
Hey.
There, you're looking at a random person who's got no fucking experience whatsoever what you've been through, and they're just jotting shit down on a paper.
Yeah.
And I said, I asked if, do you have anything going that, I need something to do to, utilise my time. What am I going to do? I can't stay home all day because I'm just going to pick up the pipe and carry on. And I really wanted help. So they offered me this wānanga class that was for 1 hour a week. And I was pissed off because I thought to myself, fuck am I going to do with the rest of my time? So how long am I going to do this before I even get on that waiting list? And at that time, what I had in my head, was the agreement between me and mum that Tamariki Ora had written up, was that I had to serve 18 months or 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's what I was sort of trying to go for. And then I ended up, nothing really was happening here. So one day I jumped on the bus and I went to Gisborne, where my children were, but I knew I wasn't allowed there. So this is six months later after the kids are gone. And I went to a relative's house down there. But I got there, I got high again. But I felt like I was let down by Tamariki Ora. I was let down by these places where I went to go and do counselling.
Yeah.
And so, I was on the hunt for something else. And I don't know why the fuck I went back to Gisborne when I knew I couldn't be around my children. I just had to feel them. I just had to feel them and see them one more time because the way that they left, it was hard. It was hard. Yeah, and somehow I ended up back in Gisborne, and then the next morning I try to go for a walk to clear my head, and this truck goes past. Fucking I look up and I'm staring at the driver in the eyeball. Fuck, it was my mum. It's like, fuck, are you going to stop, mum? Or fuck, are you going to carry on? She was just like, what the fuck is that, Koko? She carried on a bit and she parked down there. I was like, sweet. Started picking up my pace to the truck. Like, Mum, I need fuck, Mum, help me. He's just going, oh, fuck. How did you get here? What are you doing here? I said, please, Mum, please help me. She goes, where are you going to go? You can't fucking come over home. I've put fucking, man, it took me ages to transition those kids. And then, by then, they had something, Mum, Dad, and the kids had something good.
Yeah.
And so, she didn't want me jeopardising that because that's probably exactly what would have happened.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I can't remember what happened after that, but I know I ended up back there. And then she started helping me.
Oh.
Yeah, she started helping me. I relapsed once, but I think she could see that I was really trying.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, I went to mental health to do counselling and that again.
Yeah.
To try and get another referral into rehab. And so
Bit
Mum
hard,
knew
eh?
people, and at that time she was working for Tūranga Health, so she was out there in the community and stuff. And when she first told me to, the places she was referring me to, fuck, as soon as I see mental health, I fucking wanted to rip my hair out. Like, what the fuck, mental health?
Yeah.
Anyway, I met this wonderful lady in there. Within 6 weeks, I got that referral.
Wow.
I got that referral to, I can't remember the name. It can't have been that important. Anyway, I got the referral to the rehab in Rotorua.
Yeah.
So you can just imagine, I've done a big circuit. Trying to find help, going round and round just to end up back where I first started. So sweet, I get the referral, pack my bags. Mum's happy for me. I'm happy for me.
Head out.
I get there a day before, a day before Pōhiri, so
Yeah.
going to the rehab, and I go to my partner's, who was still living in Rotorua. I go there. Yeah, he was still smoking. And for the first time in a while, you know, I made that choice not to, even though I could. And so my brother took me to, I think it was Wharingako or something. Took me to the rehab there. So it was a 13-week program, and I lasted not even 24 hours. So I went in there. The Māori of the place was okay, but the workers, I think, you know, I just couldn't connect with them.
Yeah.
So I went there in the morning. So by the time it was night time, so there were rules in there.
Yeah.
So you ate at a certain time, and after dinner, which would have been about 7 o'clock, the kitchen was closed off. Fucking, I remember walking around and up and down the hallway. I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do? Because I don't want to go in my room and just sit in my room, and I couldn't sleep, sis.
Yeah.
And fuck, I was thirsty. And I remember one of the workers at that time came up. The guy thought, "Geez, Ibaka, are you alright?" I said, "Oh, fuck, I can't sleep, and I'm thirsty." "Oh, well, sorry, our kitchen's closed. It doesn't happen till the morning." And so, just little things like that, I felt like I was in a fucking prison. Like I was restricted to things, and I didn't like that. And I also asked if I could have a vape. So there was no vaping there. You know, you're trying to come off meth, you're trying to come off dope, you're trying to come off alcohol, you're trying to come off cigarettes, and fuck, I needed something, man, even if it was just a few puffs of a vape, just to keep me going. And then they said if I did vape, I would be breaking the rules and I'd have to leave.
Yeah.
And then so I said, oh, sweet ass. So I pulled out the papers that I got from my counsellor back in Gisborne, what the program was all about. And I threw the papers on the table. I said, well, you fucking tell me where it says no vaping. And so they looked through it and they were going, oh, they forgot to put it in. Oh, sorry. But you're not supposed to vape. I said, well, that's not my fault. You know, it doesn't say I can't vape. And so I said to them, I want a vape. Are you going to let me have a vape? So that I can, you know, go to sleep. And I really needed it, eh? So,
Yeah, fuck
and
hard.
but they still stayed hard to, if you vape,
You're
then
out.
you're out.
Yeah.
I says, oh, well, because you's fucked up, you can give me a ride home.
So
They weren't going to give me a ride home.
is that how they work? You can just leave whenever you want to leave, or
You can,
yeah,
but if you've got conditions in place
from the courts.
from the courts,
Yeah.
that's why a lot of them couldn't leave. So, you know, I met a
Yeah.
lot of brothers in there that you know, if they had left, it's back to prison.
Yeah.
And I was the only female in there, and you know, they bust out like, "Fuck, what are you doing in here?"
Yeah.
And I was a self referral. I
Yeah.
was self referral. And anyway, after all that, they took me home. And fucking thank God that they did take me home. So we got to our house in Rotorua, so where my partner was staying. We got to the driveway and fuck, all the lights were off. It was about 9 o'clock at night. And all the windows were open. So all the windows were off its hinges. And I could see like white smoke pumping out of the window. And before the kaiawhina could take me right up the driveway, I said, "Oh, sweet, oh, thank you for the ride, I'll jump out over here." So that she didn't see what the fuck was going, because straight away, that's another fucking police call. So I jumped out, she was still trying to talk to me. Hey, oh, you have a good night, thank you. I ran up to the driveway, opened up the front door was already open. I walked in. Fuck, the whole house was pumping with smoke. So you had the pot that was on the stove was red. I was thinking, fuck. So the first thing I did, I didn't take the pot off the stove. Fuck, I went looking for my partner. And fuck, this cunt was out on the ground, dead to the world. He was drunk, you know. He had been up for probably 4 days, you know. And then when I seen him on the ground, fuck, I started booting him. And it took a few boots to wake him up.
Yeah.
And I got him up. And I think, fuck, if I didn't turn up when I did, he would have cooked himself in their house. The out of it thing was that there were neighbours, like, fucking the smoke alarms. There were no, the smoke alarms I think he had taken out, so there was no smoke alarm, so there was no warning. But we had a neighbour just at the back of us that was just right there, who usually would be up at that time. Yeah, so in some sense, I guess, I think I was at the right place at the right time, for that reason, for the life of my partner. Yeah, it took quite a bit to get him up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after that, I ended up back in a couple of days later. Got a hold of Mum. I told her what happened with me. I said, "Oh, Mum, can I come back? You know, this is not for me. I can't do this. I don't want to do this rehab." She was like, "Oh, well, what the fuck are you gonna do when you come back here?" I said, "Oh, no, I'll stop smoking though." And that's pretty much what it was all about. Was me not smoking.
Yeah. Were you able to stay thing to that?
I relapsed once.
Yeah.
I went back. I think I had 2 more sessions, but they were spread out around 4 months. So we're going from a full fucking blown methodic into weaning myself off. And when you're hard out on it, man, fuck, a week is long.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
You know?
So you ended up coming off on your own?
Yeah, came off on my own, sis. Yeah, so I'm 2 years sobriety today.
2 years clean today?
2 years clean
Oh,
today,
man.
Yeah, it really fucked me up, hey? Mentally as well.
How hard was that journey of sobriety?
Fuck, it was hard. It was hard work.
It's fucking hard, hey.
Hard work.
It is.
You know, it was just hard to sit there in front of someone talking to you without, you know, thoughts going through your head like, "Oh, shut the fuck up, I want to smash you."
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
that's how you couldn't control the thoughts in your head. Hey, what are you looking at? Just shit like that. Yeah, it was hard. It was fucking
What
hard.
are some of the things that you had to kind of put in place to make sure you stay on the straight and narrow?
I had to stay away from smokers.
Yeah.
I had to stay away from everyone, which was pretty much everyone I knew. So I was pretty much on my own. Mum stayed by the beach, so I'd go down to the beach, I'd walk, I'd go and have lunch at the restaurant down there. And these things, you know, I missed out on these things.
Yeah.
You know, it was the first time stepping out like that for five fucking years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
So
your
I
mum
did-
proud of you?
Yeah, she is today. Yeah.
I don't. What about the kids?
Oh, fuck, she's just so happy that I got my shit together. Here, have your kids back.
Hey.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But during my recovery stage, shit, that's a big one that I missed out.
Yeah.
I got hapu
Yeah.
again. Mum wasn't happy. She was just like, "Oh, what the fuck? You've already got. You can't look after the 4. You're barely looking after yourself." You know, she didn't really. She wasn't happy with it, eh? Just not knowing if I was going to get clean or not.
Yeah.
You know, who knows, Sif's could have came in and swept their bum off me. Or I think that's what her main concern was.
Yeah.
But I used it. I used it as my power to stop smoking, and I did it.
Man.
As soon as I found out I was hopeless, I stopped. And I never looked back. No, I do. I look back sometimes. I talk about it.
You ain't got to lie, Craig.
I do it all the time. Yeah, she gave me...
But what stops you from going back?
Fuck, I don't want to go back, sis, you know. I'm better off not on it. Fuck, everything about meth is just... There's nothing in it. That's my personal thing, sis. There was nothing in it for me. It wasn't saving me, it was fucking killing me. And that's me personally, sis.
Yeah, hard out.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
You know, why would I go back to that? Even though now and again, I could still taste it in my throat.
Hard out.
So when I see someone walking past, like jaw wagging or wagging their tongue, or you know, it's like, oh, you had a good puff, like, you know. And then I think about it, and
every time I think about it, I think about what I lost as well. And all it takes is for me to have one fucking puff, and I'll lose it all again. Lose my kids, lose fucking everything that I've worked my ass off for. That's what keeps me from fucking going back.
It only takes that one puff.
Fuck you.
Yeah, and definitely that sits.
Especially if you're the type that can't just have one piece of chocolate, you gotta have the whole fucking bar. You're just better off fucking staying right the hell away. And if you have been in addiction and lost absolutely everything, you know what that drug can fucking do. What it can take from you, what it can steal from your children. Hey.
Yeah, absolutely, sis.
Hard out. So that's where your life's at now, eh? 2 years clean, got your kids.
Yeah, 5 kids now.
Nice, buddy.
Are you going to tell us about your business?
Oh yeah, so
It's legal.
I think you use one of the products.
Hey, which one?
Yeah, the Lumi.
Oh, is that yours?
I run with the businesses, with the new skin business.
Yes, the Lumi, the fucking face.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, well, there you go, that'll do.
Well, where do whānau come and support your new side hustle business?
Pardon?
Where would the whānau come and support you in your new business endeavours?
So
On
just
my page,
just
if you'd like.
they just DM me, sis, directly message me,
Yeah.
and I'll introduce a success strategy. Fucking dentures, I can't pronounce my fucking
Oh, you
words.
got dentures too?
Oh, just one.
Oh,
three.
Oh, you don't have 8. Or you can't relate to 8.
They wouldn't pull them out so straight up when I went in.
Yeah.
Nah, keep those. I was like, yeah, fuck, whatever. Yeah, so we introduce a success step strategy, and we duplicate the system.
Man.
Not only that, we offer the best products, and help sort of like changing someone's life just by, whether they've got like weight problems or skincare problems.
Oh, fucking neat. And what's your page where whānau can come and DM you, PM you?
So we do have a page which I've added so many of you to. You're just waiting for you to accept it. But if you carry on sitting on the fence, well then you stay on the fence. So the VIP worldwide WWBH worldwide business VIP page.
Cool, Les.
Yeah.
Maybe when we jump off here, if you go onto this live and put it in the comments section so whānau can come over and have a jack. See what you're up to.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, fucking, what would be, just before we wrap things up, what would be your advice for anyone that's maybe going through what you went through?
My advice would be to surround yourself by people that have motive in life.
Yeah.
that have passion in life, that thrive in life, that are obviously drug free, meth free. Yes. But never look down on those that have been through that.
Yeah.
I was once there.
Yeah.
Not here to judge out people, just to share what I've had been through.
What could have been put in place, or when you were going through that might have been helpful to you to pull you out of it? Do you think anything?
Oh, absolutely. The government needs to fucking step in there and give our people help when they ask for it. Instead of going through all this big, huge process, and you could be waiting like 6 months to a year before you're even accepted into rehab. What the fuck are you going to do with that time? So I think there needs to be a huge change with how the government runs things.
Some of the organisations.
You get some good counsellors and you get some shit counsellors. It's really like a lucky dip, sis. There are some counsellors out there to help. There are some social workers out there to help. And there are some that you just can't fucking relate to.
And what about the rehabs? What do you think they could do to kind of make it a little bit more fucking easier for people trying to get off?
Oh, geez, all I can suggest is,
let a bitch vape.
Let a bitch vape. Yeah, I think that would help. At least. Because when you've been on so many things for so long and you're trying to go cold turkey, you're really setting yourself up.
Yeah.
You're going to fucking lose the plot. You really just need something little to, swing back on.
Yeah. And I would think that they would have things in place, at least like letting you smoke ciggies or vape and that, because that's upping your success in terms of how long you're going to stay in rehab. If you strip everything away from them, fucking hell, no one's going to want to stay. Yeah. And then no one's going to get fucking clean. Hey?
Yeah.
So that might be a thing. Hopefully if whānau are watching and they work in those kind of organisations, they might have a think about that.
Yeah.
Hey? Other than that, ma'am, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
And we wish you and your whānau, your children and your business the very best.
Kia ora, sis.